Here we are again. It's the end of the year, and I'm doing another end of the year kind of wrap-up thing. It feels like just yesterday I was filming one of these, and now here I am completely doing it all over again. Last time I made this sort of like Marvel-esque type timeline of all the things I wanted to do this year with all its logos and stuff, which I think was kind of a mistake because I sort of upheld myself to the standard that I had put on this board, and to choose not to do something or to not do something to its fullest, I feel like I kind of messed up myself or failed. That said, I did a lot this year and a lot of things happened this year, and I thought it would be fun to go back and take a look at the things I said I would do, what I actually ended up doing, why some things didn't work out, why some things went better than expected, and what I plan to do next year. So this was my lineup for last year. I guess we'll just take it one thing at a time. What did I do for Vore Day? I said I was going to do some mysterious thing for Vore Day. What I ended up doing was a Kickstarter for the Vormalump as a whole collection, which included the Vormalump Halloween right here on the right. And yeah, that failed. Why did that fail? I think it's there are a couple reasons it failed. My comics mentor will tell you that it failed because about 2 days after I had done it, I asked, hey, what do I do if my Kickstarter fails? So like, I kind of thought it would fail, and therefore it did. That's one reason, was just my mindset of like, okay, this isn't gonna work. So, you know, I don't know what to do for the next 28 days if like it's already not hitting its goal. The other thing was that the goal was so high, and that was to give myself like enough sort of profit margin of like, I've been working on this for a long time. I don't just want to put the money that I made from the Kickstarter into just printing the books and then at the end have nothing. You know, I'm making something, I'm making a product. I need to essentially have some kind of a profit from it. Otherwise, what was the point of the Kickstarter? Because this is my career and I need to, you know, make a bit of money off of the things that I do. It was so high, and also there was just so little interest. I've learned that that was a thing that just not a lot of people wanted. I really enjoyed making those Vormalump stories, and they were really funny, but I think they were too very specifically niche. Obviously, everything I do, I draw characters as adults, but with the art style that I picked, which was much more simplistic than my comics, and also I think it hit a very iffy type of line that I'm definitely not gonna tread again. That was probably, for me, the last time I will do a Vormalump story. I'm just out of ideas at this point. This Halloween one was one I came up with a friend of mine, Vouch, and they're credited as a co-writer because I used most of the dialogue and stuff and most of the rhymes that we had come up with and the ideas. But, you know, I didn't really hear a lot of feedback about it. I don't hear a lot of feedback about most things, so it's hard for me to know what people like, but clearly the thing people like is the costume shop and Funhouse of Frights. That's the thing people keep coming back to more and more. So, yeah. Honestly, this past year, I kind of wish I had just made a comic for fun instead of making a big Kickstarter and then trying to market it. I should have just made a thing that was fun and put maybe a page out each day, or maybe like, you know, put out a 5-page comic on Vore Day or something like that. So I'd put a red X or a green check mark if I did it. This one I'm just going to put like a shrug. I kind of did something and it didn't work. Next up, Alex in Wonderland. I didn't really post as much as that as I wanted to. I did get my background artist to do the first page of the Tweedles one and of just the regular story, and it looks phenomenal. I'll throw it up on screen. It looks fantastic, and it really makes me want to dive into that world more because they could just do such a good job with the background visuals, especially making it this fantastical, you know, painterly world, which all this weird Vorish kinky shit happens in. So I'm definitely going to keep going with that. I'm going to leave Alex in Wonderland where it is. I'm just going to give it a little like green circle, like, yeah, I did that. Let's see if we can do a bit more of that. The Vormalump Halloween. Yeah, it came out. I am proud of those drawings. I think those are really fun. Doing it as like a your character here thing. Getting a bunch of patrons and people who are fans of mine in there. It means that there's a lot of one particular character. And it's like, okay, well, why does this guy have a mushroom head? Or why are there so many bulls? And it's like, well, there's just those people bought those commission slots. So that is a bit weird, but I'm glad to get more people other than just the characters I invented into that comic, or into that book. See, I don't even know what to call it. It's not a comic. So I did the Vormalump Halloween, and like I said, that'll probably be the last Vormalump Halloween I work on, probably for a while. I don't have any ideas for it. Ryan's Funhouse Nightmare. I was happy with how they turned out. I just, at some point, it just became so repetitive. People could vote on stuff, but they always wanted to vote on the same kind of thing, which is Ryan shows up in a place, and he gets absorbed into some slime. And then he ends up in another place, and he keeps getting absorbed into slime. It was a fun idea, but it wasn't really, like, too linear. Like, it ends with Anubis going, haha, he doesn't know what's going to happen next. And then that was it. That was sort of the end of Ryan's adventure. But yeah, Ryan's Funhouse Adventure is done. For, you know, if I do want to come back to it, I'll come back to it. But for the time being, yeah. Kid Quicksand. Yeah, I put out a lot this year. This was the actual year that I finally put out the comic, like, in big chunks of, like, you know, maybe 1 page at a time. Some of them were 3 pages. The one I just did was 6 pages of him meeting his team and seeing the FAP. Seeing the FAP. It's funny to say it out loud. Seeing the FAP home base and those characters that become his teammates, because then I can start releasing the other comics that involve those characters, and we're like, oh, now we know who they are. So yeah, it's not fully done. In fact, now that I'm almost done introducing all these characters, I can start doing the fun stuff, or the really fun stuff rather, which is the stuff involving Dr. Kingshame having kidnapped one of his team members, and they got to go to his island to rescue him, and all the stuff that happens on that island. So I'm not going to put a check mark because it's not done. I'm just going to give a circle and be like, yeah, there's more to do there. The Costume Shop, Cake Wars. I'm so happy to finally check this off. I started this chapter after I had done the previous Kickstarter, which was, that was 2017. Epcot 35. I remember because I was at Epcot. We arrived at Epcot the first day of our Disney vacation, and I sent a message to all the backers saying, hey everyone, I'm at Epcot. I've mailed all your books out. They all have tracking numbers. Enjoy. Like, you'll get all your stuff. If you don't, I'll be back in a week, and maybe I'll hear back from you if you need me to resend something. But yeah, Cake Wars was a big chapter. It was the longest one. I think it was like 56 or 60 pages long. And I was so happy it's done. Now, and I actually went back and I remastered those pages so that I fixed up, like, the borders were traditionally drawn before, or they had like a weird textured brush on them, so I made them clean. I fixed all the previous speech bubbles. Like, I did a lot of work on that. And the reason for that is because next year, once I've done remastering all the other previous pages, I'm putting all that together in a book. I gotta tally up how many pages there are, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to put together a season 2 book that has Cake Wars and all of the new bonus comics and stories since then. But I think what I want to do most is remaster everything and then put one big book and call it the Costume Shop Complete Edition. Because I don't know how long it will take for me to do the next few chapters that will sort of lead into the rest of the story, basically, with the new main villain, as well as like where it's going. I can't even like spoil it right now, but like there's quite a lot. Let's basically say that this is 2022. It's time to begin 2023. 2023! What is that gonna have? Why is that 3 so low? What is this gonna have in store? Well, first off, the Costume Shop Cake Wars is done. Therefore, it's time to introduce the next thing, which I'm very happy to say I've already designed a logo for, is going to be called The Costume Shop Spooky Natural. This storyline of The Costume Shop is going to be slightly shorter than the other one. But the plot of it is that there are some paranormal hunters or supernatural type characters. They have a show, a TV show where they do like ghost hunting, supernatural hunting shit. And their next episode is going to be about this costume shop that they've heard about. And Finn goes, uh-oh. And so they start to question, do we want a TV show capturing all of this? Do we scare them? Do we try and say it's a real store? It suddenly becomes, what does Franklin want for this shop? Does he want it to be this thing disguised as a scary place, or does he want it to be a real retail store? So we kind of question that a little bit. We see these paranormal guys and what their motives are, and then we sort of find out how they're going to handle when these guys finally show up. So it's going to introduce 2 new paranormal hunting characters, which I'm not going to ruin it right now. You'll just see them when they come up. But yeah, I'm very excited for this chapter. I'm currently writing it. I'm trying to figure out, I know what these story beats are going to be. I just need to figure out, what's going to happen. Obviously, I know people love the thing about the costume shop. People love the Vore. They love the suiting, and they love the transformation. And so that's going to be a core thing of what happens in the story, is these 2 guys suddenly see it from, a regular human perspective, and Finn is kind of showing them the whole suiting thing. But is it going to be portrayed as scary? Is it going to be portrayed as normal? You'll just have to see. That's what I'm very excited for. Kid Quicksand is just going to continue the way it was. I'm just going to make the logo a little bit bigger. I can't wait to, finally work on these new pages and get out the sort of sexier pages I've still been working on. Patrons know what's up. Funhouse of Frights, I'm going to remove and put up the logo for what is currently happening, which is Funhouse of Frights Volume 4. Volume 4 is going to be the new story, Clown House, which the first page is already up for, and so I already put out a volume called Funhouse of Frights 3. It was the David story with the blob monster and then all that not safe for work bonus comics. So it was a mini PDF that you could download, like an ebook. So this is going to be the next bit of it. It's going to have the Ryan story, and it's going to have Clown House, and then all the other not safe for work, bonus comics that have come out of it. Vormalump Halloween, sorry, it's time to say goodbye. Alex in Wonderland is absolutely going to continue. I'm still working on that. Mystery Vore, I don't know what I'm going to do for that. I think it's pretty safe for me to say I'm going to just remove the whole aspect of doing this Mystery Vore thing. I'm going to move this up, and this is sort of the 4 main, tenets of me, of, what I'm doing this year. Obviously Patreon is one of the most important things, which is just, continuously making stuff and posting it that people can see and enjoy. I'm just going to move these to balance these images out a bit. But yeah, the sort of I've been trying to spread myself way too thin, and I think the thing I want to do is focus more on the stuff that people like and people want to see more of. Alex in Wonderland is a project that I've, started. I just need to go in and ink all those pages properly and then send them off and get them done. But this is sort of it. I don't want to try and jump into something new too quick. There was an idea I had, which was a parody of Willy Wonka, but, obviously his chocolate factory is full of, kinky perils and stuff, as it already kind of is. But I saw what happened when I did the Vormalump, making this thing where it's are they children? Are these aging up these children characters to sort of be adult characters and do adult content in something that is inherently child's themed? I really don't want to touch that unless I can do it fully explicit, maybe, and make it very clear this is an 18 plus thing. So maybe I'll touch that. We'll see. I really don't want to jump into something like that again and then feel like I did all that work and people just didn't get it or whatever. So yeah, This is what I'm happy to do next year, is just continue on the stuff that I love doing, do more things with the costume shop and Funhouse, and just sort of power through the stuff that I've wanted to do for Kid Quicksand and Alex and get those out so people can see it. And, you know, maybe put out some ebooks. Maybe I do a smaller Kickstarter for something like that. For like Alex, which already has 30 pages ish. No, not even that. Yeah, about 30 pages of that. Kid Quicksand, which is already a 70, 80 page book if that were to be printed. But I don't want to print that until it's ready, until I can put them into a sequential order, and do some of this stuff with Dr. Kinkshame. Which, if I think I plan that out, I could probably do a Kickstarter for that, but I don't want to do something too late in the year. So if I'm not doing the costume shop next year, there probably won't be a Kickstarter next year, which is probably for the best. And then I can do, I can see which one of these is almost close to being done, then do a nice big Kickstarter for it. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for taking a look at what I plan on doing next year and what happened this past year. It feels weird to shrink it down from 6 things to 4 things, but I think it's gonna lead to me being more like, I don't have to question what I do every day. It's okay, what haven't I done in a while, and can I do one of these things that people already love seeing and want to see more of? So yeah, all that's gonna go up. If you don't already know, I do sketch commission streams every Saturday, so if you want me to draw you something, a character design, really quick illustration, I have some work in progress stuff that I've never finished, so I could insert your character into that as your character here. Let me know. I will hopefully be going to Fernal Equinox in 2023, which is in March. That's a furry convention in Toronto, where I'll do another version of the Vore panel, a panel about making comics for the web and creating comics and all this stuff I already do. And I will hopefully be doing another little masquerade performance as Marshmallow. And more Marshmallow videos are coming, I promise. I know I owe people living with a furry theory. It's already written. I just need to do it. I need to take a day to just film all of that. So that's coming up, I promise you. And otherwise, yeah. Thanks. Bye-bye!